Have you ever looked around your living room and whispered to yourself, "How did I get here? With so many things, but so little space to just be?" It's not that you're messy. It's not that you're disorganized. It's that over the years, life builds up, quietly. A drawer here, a pile there, memories, responsibilities, pieces of the past. And suddenly, your small home, once cozy and light, starts to feel a little crowded. Not just with stuff, but with emotion. If you've ever felt that weight, you're not alone, and you're not doing anything wrong. What you need isn't a massive clean out. You need small, gentle shifts that give you back breathing room without erasing the life you've lived. That's exactly what this video is about. I'm gonna walk you through 7 decluttering tips that are simple, practical, and most importantly, designed for women over 60 who want to feel at peace in the homes they've built. These tips aren't about getting rid of everything. They're about keeping what serves the woman you are today. I want to start by telling you about a woman named Marion. She's 76. Lives in a 1-bedroom cottage with lace curtains and a cat named Button. Marion once told me, "My house is small, but my memories are big, and I don't know where to put them all." Her kitchen counters were lined with unopened letters, tea tins she didn't use, and recipe cards from the 1980s. One day we started with just her windowsill. She cleared off everything except a small blue vase her late husband once picked up at a yard sale. She filled it with 1 garden rose. She looked at it and said, "It finally feels like mine again." That's what we're aiming for, not perfection, not minimalism, but clarity, lightness, ownership. The kind that says, "This space reflects who I am, and I like who that is." So, make a cup of tea, breathe a little deeper, and let's begin, one gentle step at a time.
Tip number 1, start with the easiest yes. Let's begin where it's kindest to begin, not with the hard choices, but with the easy yes. You know the ones, that dried up pen in the drawer, the takeout menu from a restaurant that closed 5 years ago, the sock with no match, tucked in the back of your laundry basket. These aren't sentimental, they're not heavy, they're just there, quietly stealing a bit of space day after day. Start here, with the things that don't make your heart ache or your mind hesitate. Start with the things that already feel like they're done serving you. Because what happens when you start with the easy yes is that something beautiful unfolds, momentum. You begin to feel capable again. The weight on your shoulders loosens just a little, and you realize you can do this. I remember working with a woman named Joan. She was 74 and so overwhelmed by the thought of decluttering her small living room that she hadn't touched a single thing in months. But one afternoon I asked her, "Is there something here that's an easy goodbye?" She reached under her coffee table and pulled out a stack of outdated TV guides. "These," she said, "I don't even have cable anymore." We recycled them together. That tiny act broke the dam. By the end of the hour, she'd cleared an entire corner. "I thought I was stuck," she told me, "but I just hadn't started small enough." And that's really the heart of it. You don't need to begin with the hardest item. You just need to begin. Every big change begins with one gentle yes. If your home feels crowded, if your heart feels a little tangled, don't ask yourself to do everything today. Just find one small thing you're ready to release. Honor it. Let it go. Then notice how your breath shifts. Notice the space you just made, not just on your shelf, but inside yourself. And once you've done that, you're ready for the next gentle shift, a way to quiet the noise in your space and bring peace back to your eyes every time you look around. Tip number 2, keep flat surfaces clear. 1-item rule. There's a strange kind of heaviness that comes from clutter we don't even notice. We walk past it every day. The crowded countertop, the overflowing dresser, the side table with 10 things we never touch. Over time, all those flat surfaces, the ones that are meant to offer peace, become shelves of quiet noise. That's why this second tip is so powerful in small homes. Practice the 1-item rule.
Choose one meaningful object per surface. One photo, one vase, one candle, something you love, or something that calms you. Let everything else find its rightful place, somewhere else or not at all. When I first started doing this in my own home, I didn't think it would make much difference. But I remember walking into my bedroom the day after I cleared my nightstand. All I had left was a small photo of my granddaughter and a lamp with warm light. And for the first time in a long while, I didn't feel like my thoughts were bumping into things before I fell asleep. I felt quiet, held, rested. I once worked with a woman named Irene. She was 79, living in a sweet little home near the bay. Her kitchen island had become a collection of everything: mail, vitamins, half-burned candles, plastic grocery bags. When we cleared it down to one glass bowl of oranges, she stared at it for a long time, then whispered, "I forgot this room had sunlight." That's the power of visual space. It doesn't just clear your home, it clears your mind. Empty spaces aren't lonely. They're invitations to breathe. So today, look around your flat surfaces. Choose just one to start. A nightstand, a corner of your coffee table. Ask, what's beautiful here? What's essential? Keep that, let the rest elsewhere. And watch how the room changes. Watch how you change. Next, we'll explore a little habit I love, something that gently gathers your daily clutter into one small ritual so things don't pile up or get away from you.
Tip number 3, use the Sunday basket trick. Some of the hardest clutter to deal with isn't heavy or sentimental, it's just constant. A pair of reading glasses left on the counter, a receipt from the pharmacy, a birthday card you meant to reply to but didn't. These are the everyday items that float through your life, too small to organize on their own, too frequent to ignore. And if you're like most of us, they end up spread across every surface of the house. That's where the Sunday basket trick comes in. It's simple, comforting, and perfect for a small home. Here's how it works. Choose one pretty basket, something you like looking at. Place it in a central spot. All week long, drop in anything that doesn't have a home yet. Mail, to-do lists, little things you're not ready to deal with. Then, on Sunday, pour yourself a cup of tea, sit somewhere quiet, and go through it. One item at a time. No rush. Just presence. I started this ritual years ago, not because I wanted to be more organized, but because I was tired of feeling scattered, tired of looking for my glasses under 3 piles of paper, tired of feeling like I was always behind on something small. My Sunday basket became more than a bin. It became a pause, a breath. I remember visiting a woman named Nancy in Arizona. She was 68, vibrant and funny, but her kitchen counter looked like it was running a post office. When I suggested the Sunday basket, she laughed and said, "Honey, I need a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday basket too." But a week later, she called me and said, "I did it, one basket, one Sunday, and I finally found the recipe I thought I lost for good." There was pride in her voice and lightness. You don't have to chase every little task every day. Just give it a soft place to land until you're ready. So go find your basket. Make it yours. Let it hold the little chaos of life so it doesn't live scattered around you. And when Sunday comes, treat it like a small ceremony. Just you, your home, and the gentle art of choosing what stays, what matters, and what can finally go. Up next, we'll look at a habit that's so simple it feels almost silly. But over time, it changes everything about how you move through your home.
Tip number 4, the 1 drawer per day habit. We often look at the whole house and think, there's just too much to deal with. And maybe there is. But what if you didn't have to tackle the whole house? What if all you needed was 1 drawer? That's the heart of this next tip, the 1 drawer per day habit. And it's simple. Every day, choose 1 drawer, just one, and take a few quiet minutes to look through it. Not to rush, not to finish, just to notice, to decide softly what still belongs and what no longer does. Because here's the truth: drawers are where we hide things we don't know what to do with. Old birthday candles, phone chargers we no longer use, keys that haven't opened anything in years. These little things whisper stories of someday and just in case. But they also take up the space we need for the life we're living now. I remember one woman, Ruth, who was 82, and said to me, "I haven't opened that drawer since my husband passed." It was a tiny drawer near her kitchen. We sat together quietly as she opened it. Inside, coupons from 2007, rusted batteries, and a note he had written on a grocery list. "Don't forget my favorite crackers. I love you." She smiled through tears and said, "I think I'm ready to keep the note and let the rest go." That drawer became something new, a place for fresh tea towels, and that folded little note, framed, resting gently on top. That's the gift of one drawer. It's not just about organizing, it's about reclaiming your space slowly, with tenderness, one small moment at a time. A single drawer cleared with care can carry more peace than a whole room rushed in regret. So today, don't worry about the garage or the closet or the boxes in the attic. Just find one drawer. Sit with it. Sort it like you're sorting through your thoughts, gently. No shame, no pressure. And when it's done, close it with pride. Because today, you made space for something better. You made space for clarity. And when you're ready, we'll move into something that might surprise you. How to hold on to memories without needing to hold on to all the things that come with them.
Tip number 5, display the memory, let go of the rest. One of the reasons decluttering feels so hard after 60 is because by this point in life, almost everything you own tells a story. The ticket stub from that movie night with your sister, the mismatched teacups from a road trip long ago, the quilt your mother started but never finished. Letting go feels like betrayal, like forgetting. But here's the gentle truth. You can honor the memory without keeping all the things. That's where this tip comes in. Display the memory, let go of the rest. Choose the one piece that carries the most heart, the item that brings the story back instantly, and give it a place of beauty, of visibility, of respect. And then gently release the extras that don't add more meaning, only more clutter. I once sat with a woman named Edith, 85 years old, who had kept all of her husband's neckties in a plastic bin in the back of her closet. She hadn't opened it in years, but couldn't bear the thought of tossing them. We opened the bin together. She smiled softly, then held one tie up to her face, the navy blue one with tiny anchors. "This one," she said, "he wore on our 40th anniversary. He spilled gravy on it." We both laughed. We framed that one tie in a shadow box and hung it in her hallway. The rest? Well, she let them go, with gratitude and peace. "I feel like he's still here," she whispered, "but not in a box anymore." That's the power of choosing one memory and letting it breathe. When you do that, you're not forgetting. You're elevating. You're telling your heart, this part mattered most. Sometimes we keep 20 things because we're afraid to lose the feeling. But when we choose the right one, we actually preserve the feeling and we make room for it to touch us again and again every time we see it. You don't need a pile to remember. One beautiful reminder is enough to carry love. So today, walk around your home and notice what you've hidden in boxes or tucked in drawers simply because you didn't know what to do with it. Choose one memory that deserves the light. Frame it, hang it, use it. Let it live with you, not behind you. And for the rest, thank it and release it. It already served its purpose. In our next tip, we'll look at something a little more playful. A way to make organizing not just easier, but more joyful, using a trick that's as practical as it is personal. Tip number 6, label with love, not just function. By the time we reach this season of life, our homes aren't just filled with objects, they're filled with meaning. And yet, when it comes to organizing, we're often told to treat our things like inventory, label everything, sort by category, store by color. But what if instead of labeling with cold logic, we labeled with love? That's the heart of this next tip. Label not just what something is, but what it means. Add warmth to your space by letting your labels carry a little of your heart. Instead of a drawer that says chords, what if it said movie nights with the grandkids? Instead of a box labeled photos, maybe it's our first summer at the lake. Suddenly, your space doesn't feel like a storage unit. It starts to feel like a scrapbook that lives and breathes with you. I remember helping a woman named Carol. She was 70, with silver hair and a laugh that filled the room. She had a shelf in her closet packed with plastic bins labeled Miss T. She hated them. Every time I see those labels, she said, I feel like I don't belong in my own home. So we sat down, took each box, and renamed them together. One became Nana's Holiday Magic, filled with ornaments. Another, Letters I Read When I Need to Remember Who I Am. When we finished, she stepped back and said, It feels like someone who loves me lives here. And she was right. She had finally given her home a voice that spoke in her language. A loving label isn't about what the item does, it's about what it whispers back to you when you read it. So today, take a walk through your cabinets, your shelves, your boxes. Where do the words feel cold? Could you rename one drawer, one bin, one basket in a way that reflects your heart instead of just its contents? Next, we'll step into one of the most powerful questions a woman can ask herself, especially when her home is small and her life is full. Does this still belong to the woman I am now? Tip number 7. Ask, does this belong to the woman I am now? There comes a moment, quiet, often unexpected, when you look at something in your home and realize it no longer feels like you. Not because it isn't useful, not because it's broken, but because it belongs to a version of you that doesn't quite exist anymore. That's why this final tip may be the most important when you're unsure about keeping something. Does this still belong to the woman I am now? It's such a gentle question, not judgmental, not forceful, just honest. Because over the decades, we collect not just things, we collect selves, the career woman, the mother of toddlers, the newlywed, the caregiver, and when we hold on to everything those past selves used and wore and needed, we forget to make room for the woman we've become. I once sat with a woman named Jean. She was 76 and still had an entire closet of blazers from her teaching days, crisp, stylish, but untouched for over a decade. When I asked her that question, do these belong to the woman you are now? She smiled, but her eyes welled. I loved who I was then, she said, but I don't need to dress like her anymore to remember her. She kept 2 jackets she truly loved, donated the rest to a program for young women entering the workforce. Let those jackets go, teach someone else now, she whispered. It's not about erasing the past, it's about choosing what still supports you today. Because the truth is, you've earned this new chapter and your home should reflect it. We aren't meant to carry every version of ourselves forever. Some we bless and gently set down. So the next time you're holding an old purse or a box of hobby supplies you haven't touched in years, or a dress that no longer fits your body or your life, pause. Ask, does this still fit the woman I am now? Not the woman you were, not the woman others expected, but the woman sitting here in this very moment ready to choose herself again. And once you ask that question, you may be surprised how much lighter your space and your soul begins to feel. Now that we've explored all 7 tips together, let's take one last deep breath and wrap it all in something simple, tender, and lasting. A reminder that organizing after 60 isn't about chasing less, but embracing what truly matters more.
Make space that loves you back. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be kind. Kind to yourself. Kind to your season of life. Kind to the woman you are right now. Not the one you were 20 years ago or the one you think you should be. Just you here today. Start where you are. Maybe it's one drawer. Maybe it's one corner. Keep only what still honors you, what still serves and reflects the life you're living. And gently, without guilt, release what no longer does. Not because it wasn't once beautiful, but because it has simply done its part. Your home isn't a museum of everything you've ever owned. And it's not a storage unit for just-in-case lives. It's a living space. A breathing, evolving space that should love you back, with room to move, room to rest, room to be. Sometimes the real gift of decluttering isn't the clear shelf or the tidy drawer. It's walking into a room and not feeling overwhelmed. It's seeing sunlight fall on an empty surface and feeling peace instead of pressure. We organize not to control our life, but to give it space to unfold. So I invite you now, gently, softly, to ask yourself, did one of these tips speak to me? Maybe it reminded you of something in your home, or maybe something in your heart. If it did, I'd truly love to hear from you. Drop a comment, share your moment. And if this video brought even a small breath of peace into your day, pass it along to someone you care about. Because sometimes the tiniest shift in our home becomes the biggest shift in how we feel. Let's keep choosing what matters, one space at a time.